In today's video, I'm going to rapid fire my best 30 tips, tricks, and critical lessons learned from 5.5 years on a carnivore diet. Let's get started. You do not need to eat only grass-fed, grass-finished beef, salt, and water. Eat the meat that you can afford and crave for, and know that just by having more real animal foods in your diet, your journey to health and wellness is already miles ahead of anyone still on a standard American diet or a vegan/vegetarian diet. On the same coin, don't force yourself to eat meats that you do not enjoy, no matter the good things that you hear about them. Doing this is only going to make this challenging journey even more difficult. It's best not to use the traditional scale to track recomposition or fat loss progress, because the numbers can deceive you. Maybe you lost 5 pounds of fat, but put on 5 pounds of lean muscle mass. More often than not, weighing yourself is a demotivating force. It's not going to do you any good, so instead, as per Dr. Berry's recommendations, try using a measuring tape around the waist on a bi-weekly basis to track your progress instead. My personal favorite way to track progress is progress photos. This is for your eyes only, and as embarrassed as you might feel starting those photos on day one, I promise you, you will be so glad you took those initial photos when you can compare them side by side and see just how much progress you made. Be patient with your recomposition goals and understand that it may take months or even a full year for you to see noticeable changes. As a 5-year carnivore, I know from my personal experience that my body took all of those amazing nutrients from the fatty meats that I was eating to prioritize healing the body first before achieving fat loss. I just have to take a moment now to shout out to SBG members and carnivore advocates Limitless Lindy and Todd Bachnis, the Carnivore Cure. They both have collectively lost almost 800 pounds. Limitless Lindy has lost 500 pounds by just going carnivore, and Todd is well on his way to losing 300 pounds also just by going carnivore. But for both of them, it did not happen overnight, and it will only happen once your body feels safe and healthy enough to finally metabolize that stored fat. So again, stay patient and prioritize feeling better first. Both Todd and Lindy are big believers in aligning with a carnivore community. Having a carnivore community to belong to keep you on track, inspired, and accountable really could be the missing link for a lot of new carnivores. That's why I created the Steak and Butter Gang, not only so that all of the carnivores who need help and inspiration can find it all in one place, but also to help carnivores reach their fat loss and body recomposition goals. I'm going to show off just a few of our member before and after photos. We have literally thousands in there now because members are healing and feeling so good. The coaches in the Steak and Butter Gang are some of my favorite people on earth. Not only are they so very experienced in all aspects of carnivore healing and troubleshooting, but they have walked this path themselves. They all started off sick, overweight, and hopeless. But walking through carnivore combined with our priming and fasting program has completely changed their bodies and lives for the better. We have live Zoom calls every single day for you to ask questions, get the help and inspiration that you need, easy to follow weekly calendars, PDFs, and guides to make sure that you start and continue carnivore in the best way possible. For more details and to directly join our next 30-day carnivore challenge, just go to the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com. You can also open the description box below for clickable links. Keep your carnivore diet simple, and how simple you need it will be different for each carnivore. Maybe try beef, butter, bacon, and eggs if that is easy for you, also known as Dr. Berry's BBB&E diet. Feel free to branch out and try different modalities and experiments after you feel ready and have more experience. If you're currently having trouble eliminating non-carnivore foods, don't try to do it blindly or all at once. Instead, slowly phase out those non-carnivore foods with an elimination schedule. Maybe you aim to eliminate all refined sugars by your 2nd week, all processed carbs by your 4th week, and all vegetables and fruits by your 5th week. Don't beat yourself up if you slip up or experience a cheat meal or a cheat day. Slip-ups are really important learning moments where you can reaffirm your carnivore goals, because during that time you were carnivore, your tolerance for toxins and poisons found in those conventional foods decreases rapidly. So really treat those moments not as failures, rather as an opportunity to assess how you're feeling and gain even more conviction for your health goals. I would love to know if you prefer to stay carnivore all 7 days a week, or if you sprinkle in some treat meals here and there. Feel free to share your experiences down below in the comments. Don't portion control or track calories, and really just listen to your body. Many people feel this voracious appetite when starting carnivore because our bodies need as many nutrients as it can get. get to finally promote the healing that it so wants to do. You'd also be surprised by how many of us who start carnivore are also malnourished. So when we finally eat the foods that our bodies are designed to eat, it is natural and totally normal to feel an increase in appetite. So my best tip is eat until you're comfortably stuffed, no matter what that means for you. If that means 5 meals a day, eat those 5 meals a day with zero guilt and zero shame. Your body is wanting it for a reason. If that means 2 to 3 meals a day and maybe some other days OMAD, then go ahead and listen to your body. I think the only exception where tracking is a good thing is if you are trying to eat enough and you have trouble doing so, or if you are trying to gain healthy weight and you need to make sure you are hitting a certain protein and fat macro. If your goal is to lose fat and have body recomposition, 5.5 years in, I am now the leanest I have ever been. I do not track calories. I never portion controlled. I truly believe because I let that go and just focused on eating what my body craves for, my metabolism is completely revved up and my hormones are perfectly healed. This is why I can now eat as much as I want and yet still be lean and have zero bloat. If you guys want a video dedicated to everything that I've learned regarding fat loss and body recomposition, I am more than happy to film that video. Feel free to let me know you'd like to see that down below in the comments. Regarding hunger signals, many of us come from years of malnourishment or under eating and don't actually know exactly what it feels like to feel hungry or full. If you're wondering how much is enough to eat, eat until you feel satiated, which is the point where meat no longer tastes delicious or sounds appetizing. This is really the best way to get in tune with your natural hunger signals when you first start and adapt to the carnivore diet. Don't forget that your emotions can trigger a false sense of hunger. Hunger can feel like boredom, anger, or stress. And these emotions can make you feel hungry even when you're really not. So if beef doesn't sound delicious, chances are your hunger is not really hunger, but actually some other feeling your body is looking to overcome. What I did to really test whether or not I was truly hungry when I started the carnivore diet was to have my sticks of butter handy no matter where I was. This meant I would pack frozen sticks of butter to school, to concerts, to performances, even when I would go out and hang out with friends when I lived in New York City. The beauty of a stick of butter is not only is it convenient to take on the go, but the palatability. It tastes so good and all you have to do is unwrap it and take a bite. And also because it is a pure animal fat, it really is a truth serum of sorts to make sure that your body tells you, okay, I really am hungry because this pure animal fat even tastes good to me and it's opening up my appetite. Most times though, I would take a bite of that butter, let it melt in my mouth, swallow it, and immediately feel satiated and free of whatever sugar cravings or emotional cravings that I was having just minutes ago. Artificial sweeteners are somewhat better than refined sugars, but that's not really saying anything. They're still really harmful and are definitely going to hold you back on this journey by keeping those sugar cravings alive. So don't fall for this big industry trick and treat stevia and all other sweeteners only as a once in a blue moon treat. Better yet, work up to not having any at all. Another dangerous ingredient for a lot of carnivores looking to rewire hunger signals is milk. Milk and dairy in general can reignite those carb cravings. I always recommend carnivores looking to enjoy milk to find raw dairy instead of pasteurized dairy, which can really help mitigate most of the negative feedback your body might give you for those who are very sensitive. I'll make sure to link my favorite website to source raw dairy in the description box. New and adapting carnivores might feel nauseous after eating a carnivore meal because your body is simply not used to feeling truly full with such nutrient-dense foods. It's not a sign that carnivore diet is not right for you. What you can do is lean on variety. Have that seafood, have that egg pudding. Enjoy all of my carnivore recipes that I've posted on my channel so far. I have a whole playlist down below. When your body has not yet adapted to a meat-only diet, making sure that you are upping your potassium, magnesium, and sodium levels can really help you minimize those nasty adaptation and oxalate dumping symptoms. That's why it could be essential for new carnivores to up their salt on all of their carnivore meals and adapting carnivores to really rely on a high-quality electrolyte electrolyte supplement. This is the one that I recommend. It is from the brand Element, and very specifically this teal colored box. It's labeled raw unflavored, and this box has absolutely zero stevia, no sugar, and nothing but the 3 electrolytes our body needs. This is what the packets look like. It is super simple. You just rip one open, pour it into whatever beverage of your choice, mix it up, drink it down, and you are good to go. You all can get a free sample pack with any drink mix purchase if you go to the URL shown on the screen, drinklmnt.com/SBGAL. And it does include the teal raw unflavored one as well. I've also linked them below. If using seasonings or light condiments help you eat more meat during your meals, then definitely by all means have them, because the goal at first is simply to get more healthy, adapted, and used to this carnivore lifestyle. I recommend being selective about your toppings and just make sure you can actually read and understand the ingredients on the label. Make sure there are no sugars, anything that ends with OSE, O-S-E, because that means it is a sugar, no MSG, and no seed oils. I'll make sure to link my all-time favorite hot sauces and seasonings, condiments down below in the description box. Now, speaking of carnivore-friendly condiments that you can just make at home without having to spend extra bucks is one, just a fresh squeeze of lemon as a dipping sauce. This actually helps with those who have extreme oxalate dumping symptoms because there are some oxalates in lemon juice. So by having it with each of your carnivore meals initially, you are able to lessen and smooth out that oxalate dumping period. My second recommended condiment is 100% carnivore and my personal favorite, egg yolk dipping sauce. I make it with a raw egg and I separate the egg yolk from the egg white. I don't cook the egg yolk. I just beat it up so it becomes a nice creamy condiment, and I dip all of my steaks, my carnivore meals, into that raw egg yolk. Every time I share this, I get so many comments saying, how can you recommend this? People are going to get sick, you're going to get E. coli, this is not safe. This is such a popular practice in Japanese cuisine. Every time I go to a Japanese restaurant, they literally serve me raw egg yolk sauce, no problem. Just make sure that you're using a high quality pasture-raised egg and that you completely separate the white from the raw yolk. Invest in time-saving tools like a trusty Instant Pot or an air fryer to keep the cooking process hassle-free. I have plenty of week-long meal plan videos linked down below where I share my love for Instant Pots and air fryers to make some of the most delicious and easy carnivore meals ever. If you don't want to invest in time-saving tools, your kitchen oven is just as capable of keeping carnivore hands-off and easy. Protein-fat ratios are complicated, but if I were to grossly reduce the concept, make sure you have a 2-to-1 fat to protein ratio if you have a lot of deep healing and hormone healing to do. And a 1-to-1 fat to protein ratio is great for everyone and anyone who does want to achieve more fat loss and body recomposition. I have a full in-depth video talking about fat to protein ratios, which I will link down below, and it features Coach Rebecca Heischman. On the same coin, I would avoid eating too lean, especially during the adaptation period. Not eating enough fat can make you feel super lethargic and seriously always craving for junk foods. I've never actually met a long-term carnivore who has told me that they like leaner meats over fattier cuts of meat. And this is something that us carnivores just naturally gravitate towards. Fatty meats just hit the spot in both satiation and that mental calmness. Speaking of animal fats, they are necessary and essential to a proper human diet. Contrary to popular belief, it won't increase your diabetes risk or clog your arteries. In fact, animal fats can actually protect your heart, nerves, gut, and especially brain health. And especially for my carnivore ladies, I lost my period for years on a vegan diet, but after munching on a couple sticks of butter per day during my early carnivore years and eating fatty meats, within a few months, I got my period back. Always keep fatty snacks on hand in your cupboard or in your fridge. This is really a great way to stay ahead of your cravings and to make sure you always have something nutrient dense ready to eat when you're feeling extra tired, busy, anxious, or when those pestering, craving voices start creeping in your head. Butter sticks were my personal favorite. Beef fat trimmings also work, but most people just cannot stomach raw beef fat. And for those who need something a little bit more palatable than butter, I highly recommend checking out Carnivore Bars. Especially for those of you who are on the go, these Carnivore Bars are absolutely awesome. The ingredients are literally just beef fat and beef. They have salted and unsalted, which I really appreciate because I personally do not eat any salt anymore. And each of the bars are nice and compact, so you can actually use these as a meal replacement if you're traveling or on the go. I personally like to call them a blended steak in a bar because it is so beefy and it has a nice crunch to it because of the dehydrated beef in the bar. Whenever I travel to LA or New York, and recently I went to Texas, I always pack a bunch of carnivore bars because you don't have to refrigerate them. They travel really well and they're so compact and satiating. If you guys are interested in checking out these carnivore bars, I will make sure to link them down below in the description box alongside my discount code, which is SBGAL. Don't worry about increased cancer risk on carnivore just because you read it somewhere. The flawed research done on red meat's effects on cancer growth have been purely observational in nature, meaning that by design, it cannot show causation. I have had plenty of doctors, surgeons, and cancer experts debunk this myth over years. And as Dr. Chafee often mentions, most of the nutritional studies done on fatty red meat and its consequences on our health have been funded by big box sugar and carb companies who want to keep you sick and hungry for more poison. On that note, be careful who you listen and surround yourself with. As Dr. Joan Iflin taught me, we naturally match behaviors in our immediate environment and surroundings. So surround yourself with like-minded people. Watch YouTube channels that you love and feel inspired by. Listen to podcasts that keep you motivated and on track with your health goals. And absolutely get yourself in a community of people who eat and live just like you. All of the successful carnivores I've ever had the pleasure of meeting always talk about how important the community aspect is for success. Most of us need accountability and motivation. I encourage and welcome all carnivores, new and experienced, who are looking for guidance and simply more like-minded friends to join us in the Steak and Butter Gang. And if you don't want to join our monthly carnivore challenges because of the cost, we also do have a beautiful free forum community available. It is by invite only, so if you watched this far in the video, I am more than happy to gift you free access to our SBG forum. All you have to do is go to the description box down below and follow the directions. One of my best practical tips is to stock up and bulk buy your favorite meats when there is a promotion or a sale. Keep what you're not going to eat immediately in the freezer. This helps simplify the whole process and makes sure you will never be empty-handed and vulnerable when truly hungry. Also, a cool side benefit of this is that you'll probably end up saving a good amount on your monthly grocery bills. I know for a fact that my vegan grocery bills were way more expensive than my carnivore grocery bills. Instead of going to your local chain grocer, try calling your local butcher for early morning manager specials on meat or for free beef fat trimmings that are often thrown away after butchers carve the roasts of their meat. Lastly, I want to remind all of you who are struggling and looking at carnivores as a last resort that you are absolutely not the problem. Your food is. Understand that big industry and societal pressure influence unhealthy food habits that are just so darn hard for any of us to get out of. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you're looking for more motivation or just want to hear more amazing carnivore success stories, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, and if you don't want to miss my future uploads, feel free to turn on the bell notifications down below as well. I also post daily on Instagram and TikTok, and I would absolutely love to see you there as well. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in my next one. SVG out.